Hi, I'm Naimah Latif, executive producer of the Female Solution Global Radio TV show. Every day, we remind our listeners and viewers that 50 years from now, the earth will be populated by a new generation of adults, many of whom are yet unborn. Our mission is to nurture them in childhood with love, guidance, and protection, and to raise them in healthy, happy families. When we impart values of kindness, generosity, and respect for other human beings, they will create a world where people can live together in peace. This is our goal. We learn how to inflict violence on others by what we experience in childhood. There's a saying, to do the same thing the same way and expect different results is insanity. Why are we surprised that our society is so violent? Look at how we have raised our children. I was motivated to write the upcoming book, Spare the Rod, Love the Child, by an experience that I had on a bus ride one day. Now, I was sitting behind a woman, and she had her little son with her. He could have been more than maybe 2 or 3. And he was little. And of course, he was too short to see what was going on outside the window. He was sitting next to the window. She was sitting next to him. And so he kept getting up on his knees to look out the window. And apparently this was a grandmother. She was a little older. And he would say, "Grandma, what's this? Grandma, what's that?" And she was firm, saying, "Sit down, sit down." And I'm sure she was concerned that he might lose his balance and fall over, hit his head, maybe be injured. But I could see how he was really excited to be able to climb up on the seat and look out the window and see all these interesting things going on. There were people out there, someone walking a dog, somebody with a jackhammer, somebody, just all kinds of things a young mind would be curious to know. But unfortunately, this grandmother, she was not understanding how to handle his curiosity. And she kept saying to him, "Look, sit down, sit your butt down." And he was, "But no, Grandma, I want to see." Well, what did he say that word no for? She grabbed him and threw him across her knee and started beating him. "Don't you tell me no." I'm horrified. But now there is an elderly gentleman sitting next to her and an elderly lady sitting next to me. And they both kind of looking approvingly at her. And the gentleman says, "Well, that's the problem with these kids today anyhow. They won't allow spanking in the schools no more. That's how come we got all this violence in the streets, because they won't allow the parents to control them the way they need to." And I'm listening to him say this. And of course, the little boy, she sat him back down in his seat, and he's and the lady next to me, she says, "Yeah, that's right. Sometimes you need to beat the little butts. They know how to behave then. They won't let you beat your kids now. They won't let you raise your kids. They won't let you discipline them the way we was disciplined. That's how come they misbehave. That's how come they ain't got no respect for grown people." And I'm listening to her. And I'm looking at this grandmother. And she didn't look very old, but, young grandmother apparently, but she looking triumphant, like, "Yeah, I showed that little boy who's boss." And I'm looking at this little child who just wanted to satisfy his curiosity and look out the window. And I felt compelled to say something. So I said, "Well, maybe if you put him on your lap so he can be up higher and he can see out the window and you can explain things to him." That went on deaf ears. She said, he don't need to see nothing, need to sit a little butt down, like I said. And so I realized it was a futile discussion. But I was kind of distraught because I felt that there had just been a total misunderstanding of this young life who just wanted to satisfy his curiosity, learn some things, enjoy a ride, and now it was ruined. Not only was he caused pain, he was caused public humiliation. We think children can't be humiliated by public beatings. They are. But it was, my stop, time for me to get off. I wanted to be able to stay on and try to teach, but then I also realized these are people, their thinking is set in old ways they wouldn't understand. So I was motivated to write the book, Spare the Rod, Love the Child. And this book dispels a lot of mistaken notions that we have that cause us to beat our children. I don't care if you call it spanking or discipline or whatever little polite term you use, it's violence. And when you use violence, it's like planting a seed. It's going to grow, it's going to spread, and you're going to get it back. You reap what you sow. These children, these young people, even these adults, they are displaying what they received, what was planted in them. Violence. And it's not because their parents were bad people, but they were misguided. They had bad examples of parenting themselves. And many times they're dealing with low self-esteem because when your ego can't take a child expressing their free will without feeling you're being disrespected, that's not the child being disobedient. That's you not having the skills on how to guide a child and believing that you must make someone do what you want to do by using force. That's what violence is. Using force to get someone, to make someone do something you want them to do. Using force to inflict pain, cause injury, maybe even death. Violence is using force, using pain as a means to inflict fear in order to force obedience to something someone wants. That isn't a way you raise a child, but we don't know because that's how we were raised. Because that's how our parents were raised and how their parents were raised and how their parents were raised. But it's time to stop the insanity. It's time to stop. And we need to learn how to be as the creator of the universe is to us. We're not punished. This is a learning experience. We are here to learn, and the greatest lesson is to learn how to love. And you're not beaten if you don't get the lesson right. What you do experience are the consequences of the choices that you make. And then you come to understand that you could have made better choices. So in the book, Spare the Rod, Love the Child, we first help parents undo incorrect belief systems that give faulty human traits of vengeance, hatred, cruelty, favoritism to the creator of the universe. That's incorrect. Those are human traits based on incorrect understanding, limited vision and knowledge. So let's first correct our mistaken beliefs, and then let's learn how to love those souls that come through us for this beautiful learning experience, that we can keep it beautiful if we don't inflict violence. When I saw the distress of this child, and I saw these adults literally ganging up on this child, I knew that it was a lesson for me, a responsibility to share what I have grown to understand very clearly, so that the next generation will not be raised with violence. They will be raised with love. They will receive the seeds of love that will grow and blossom and spread. And that's how we change the world, by changing the way we raise our children. So look for it. Spare the rod, love the child. And if you are someone of childbearing age, or you are currently raising children, or if you have raised children and now you're ready to assist your grown children with the grandchildren, this will be a book that you need, so that we can begin to correct our errors in thinking and our errors in parenting. And we can bring forth the beauty of these souls coming through us. And we can do it with love and non-violence. I'm Naimah Latif. Thank you for listening. And thank you for reflecting. And thank you for changing your thoughts. And thank you for choosing to shine your light.